My name is Anthony Quoy. I'm the son of Alwyn Darley Quoy, who served in the Second World War. He's the son of Gilbert Tin Quoy, who came to Australia at the turn of the century. And I'm proud to say I have Chinese lineage. Exempt industry is an industry that's considered essential. Dad was in the produce store, to put it plainer, fruit and vegetables, and he was exempt at the time. In the Second World War, they weren't expected to serve. Dad's philosophy was, which he explained to me, that if you live in the country, you should fight for the country. So he decided to try to enrol, and I say try because it took him 3 goes to get in. He was excluded for reasons he would never talk about. I can only assume it might have been based on the colour of his skin, which is rather sad, to be honest. And he joined the Air Force, served as initially as an airman. He tried to improve his position and join the intelligence force as an officer. He applied 5 times. He topped the course 5 times. He was declined 5 times.
One of the things that Gung said was that the world wasn't ready for a Chinese officer, and I think it might have been my first or my second year going in the Anzac Day March after he passed away. There is a Chinese officer in the Air Force now, and I know that's because of the things that Gung did, not just while he was in the Air Force, but after, with the association and the people that stayed in the Air Force that he had a connection with. They'd done all this work to ensure those kinds of prejudice were ridded out of the Air Force and make sure that it didn't happen anymore. So I wanted that part of the story to be told, but also to share part of our history so that when my kids are older and if they have kids, they can look into it as well. So yeah.
When Dad passed in 2010, the Chief of Air Force sent a representative, and in my eulogy, I was critical of the way that had been treated in terms of that side of it. I didn't know the full story, but I knew some of the story. And the guy from Air Force came up to me afterwards and apologised. He said, you know, I'm sorry. And I said, look, I'm sorry because it's not fair to go at you as the Air Force. He said to me, you have every right to. And thankfully now that doesn't exist. And it's because of guys like your dad who kept going and having a crack that it changed.
He was like a giant, like not physically, but his personality was really big. Like he commanded a room wherever he went. He was very funny, but he's also quite brutal at times, like in terms of his tolerance for foolishness wasn't very high, but he would do anything for people that he really cared about, and that was evident in, like I said, the work that he did with the Fighter Squadron Association and the Kitty Hawk Association and what they've done for veterans, and the respect that he had for that part of his life.
He did once in my life, when things were a little bit tough for me, explain to me the reason he wasn't demonstrative was that when he said to me, I always remember, Anthony, when you go and there's an air raid and there's a tent scatters and you come back and you find a friend, a tent mate, eyeball or arm or leg in the tent, he said, it's pretty hard to show your emotions. And he said, I apologise for the fact that the way I've treated you, but I haven't meant to treat you. It's just that you steel yourself. You know, you make yourself tougher because that's what you need, because if you're going to fall apart, when that happens in warfare, you're not going to be good for anything. We used to go to the Anzac March all the time. David used to march in the march for him in his place when he passed away. But that was right up until David became ill and wasn't able to do that. But we gather on Anzac Day to commemorate Dad, always. always.
Like I show the kids the medals every year. I bring them out on Anzac Day. These are the King George's medals, and this is the Pacific Star, and this is the 1939 to 1945. And then this one here is his Order of Australia, which he got for all the stuff that he did with the Air Force, with the Fighter Squadron Association, and work after the Air Force and his service. One of the main reasons why the Air Force always has a huge turnout in the march, definitely like in the Sydney march, is because he had the vision to see that you needed to include current serving officers, and that's what started it, because he and one of his friends, I think it's Harry Delaney, they set up the association so that veterans of various campaigns could go and march, and it's the 77 Squadron and the Fighter Squadron Association still very strong today.